First, to select the wood, here I'm using spalted hackberry. It's about 3/4 inch thick by about 3 inches wide. First thing I do is rip a wand blank. Set my rip fence to the thickness of the wood, and then rip the board. So next, I measure out about 14 inches long. Take that over and mark the centers of both ends with my little handy dandy marking gauge. You could just draw an X, but I have the gauge, so why not use it? Next, I'm going to drill a little bit of a divot in the center of each end. I got this bit that has the same angle as my lathe ends. Now I'm going to mount the wand blank to the lathe. Center it up, make sure it's tight. And then I'm going to start turning. I'm going to use which simply turn the entire length of the square stock into a round stock. And now it's the same size all the way down. Next, I'm going to use a parting tool to mark out the proportions that I want on the wand. Mark points for the pommel, the handle, little details here and there, and the far end. And I start turning it to the shape I want. I don't usually draw out or design my wands ahead of time. I just kind of improvise as I go, feel the way the wood wants to go, and shape that I kind of feel like doing as I do it. It's a very organic process, I guess. Shape the handle of the wand, I taper the blade, and then start sanding. I start with 60 grit, then I'll go to 100 grit, 120, then I think 220 and 400. spend more time sanding with your heavier grits, and then as you get finer, you'll have less sanding to do to get it nice and smooth. For finishing on this one, I'm using a product called Hut Crystal Coat. It's a friction polish, which you wipe on. It does yellow the wood a little bit, but I think that's okay in this case. You wipe it on, then you spin the lathe up, and you buff it while the lathe is turning. The friction, you get it hot, it just buffs out to a nice shiny hard finish. I put on one coat, then wipe it down with steel wool and put on a second coat. After it's polished, I cut it off with a saw. Cut off one end while it's turning, and then I'll cut off the other end. I'm going to sand the cut ends with a rotary tool. I'll just shape them up a little bit here. Smooth them out, then I will apply a coat of the finish. Buffing wheel until it's matches this one. For the core, I go to my supplies box. I think in this case, I'm going to use a core of unicorn hair. I'll drill out the hole in the tip of the wand, fairly deep, and then I will insert the unicorn hair. Once that's in, I'll seal it with some cyan or acrylic glue. I'll add a little gemstone to the end to seal the hole. Seal that on with a dab of the glue and a spray of glue accelerator. For the pommel. And that's the finished wand. I think I'll go back and retake this showing the finished wand.